welcome to Ammosmith.com. Today I'm going to be shooting my 625, which is the 45 ACP revolver that shoots automatic pistol cartridges. Now I want to show you the difference. I know I showed you this before, but here's a 45 ACP and here's a 45 auto rim. I'm going to shoot both. Actually, I'm going to be shooting the 45 automatics out of my 1911, but what I want to show you really is the difference between just casting a bullet and then casting a premium bullet. Now when you cast a premium bullet, what you're doing is you're taking that bullet once you cast it and you're inspecting it visually for any defects that might be on it, whether it's a driving band that's not fully filled out, ripples, or base deformations. And once I'm done doing that, I weight sort them. I weigh them within a grain of each other. Now you can weigh them for less variations than that, but if you think about it, a 200 grain bullet that's within a grain of each other, that's a 0.5% in weight variation. And shooting at 15 yards doesn't make that much of a difference. Now on a rifle, I will go ahead and measure within a 1/10 of a grain because I'm shooting beyond 100 yards with that. So I'm going to shoot both pistols. I'm going to demonstrate the actual firing of it from the firing position, how I rest the weapon. Then I'm going to put the camera down there at 15 yards to show you how it groups. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're set up. Now one of the things that you got to really pay attention to is what you cast your bullets out of. Now these are made out of softer lead. This is just roofing lead. It has a little bit of tin in it, so it's harder than pure lead, but not as hard as linotype. And the reason why you want to pay attention to what alloys you're casting with, whether it's wheel weights, pure lead, or linotype, is pressure. Now if you shoot linotype in a cartridge where you have low pressure, you're going to get leading because it's not expanding the base to totally fill the rifling lands and grooves. You'll get gas getting pushed around the bullet, which will cause gas cutting, which will cause a lot of leading. Now if you go in the opposite direction, shoot a really high powered load like a 44 Magnum, say at 1400 feet a second, and you're using soft lead, well the lead will expand to grip the rifling, but the gas pressure is so high that it'll force the gas around the bullet anyway, and you'll still get leading. So anywhere from say 18,000 to about 22,000 pounds you want pure lead, and from about 22,000 to 28,000 pounds you want to use either wheel weights or a mixture of wheel weights and linotype or lead and linotype. And if you're pushing full power 44 Magnum loads, anywhere from about 28,000 to 35,000 pounds, you want to use linotype. It will cause you a lot less hassles in cleaning your weapon, and it'll perform a lot better downrange because your barrel starts to lead, your groups will open up exponentially. So let's go ahead and test these out, and I'll shoot from here, and then like I said, I'll go ahead and reposition the camera on the target. This is going to be 12 rounds to the revolver. Also, I'm going to shoot through my 1911 as well, and the reason why I want to do that, just because you have one load that shoots really accurately in one gun, doesn't necessarily translate that it's going to shoot the same in another gun. Although they'll shoot better than factory, what you want to do is load tune it by going up and down the power band from say a starting load to a maximum load, or you might even want to change powders. But for this, we're using the 200 grain RCBS cast bullet. I'm using white lithium grease and beeswax as a lubricant, and I'm using 6 grains of Alliance Unique with a large Federal standard pistol primer. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, when I mount my pistol up, what I like to do is make sure that the base of the grip is on here, and that the front part of the frame is resting on the sandbag. That gives me a nice steady position. You can also shoot like this, but since this is such a low chair and my bench setup is on a ladder and just a little rest here, I had to kind of maneuver it. Really, it's up to you how you want to set your pistol up, but you want to make sure that it's very stable and that you're comfortable. The shooter has to be comfortable or you'll never get a good natural point of aim. That's not a bad group. That's not a bad group at all. And the revolver shoots better than the 1911 with this particular load. Now I'm going to put a fresh target up. We're going to go back to where I have my shooting position set up. And we're going to shoot it with the 1911. Well, I'm going to shoot the 1911 with a different load that shoots better in it. But what I'm going to do is I just picked random bullets out of a box. I didn't weight sort them or anything. They'll still shoot great, but you'll notice you'll get flyers every once in a while. And that's because of either there's like a slight deformation in there or there was a variation in the weight. Now sometimes the weight variations aren't caused by an inclusion inside the bullet. If you're using a mixed alloy like wheel weights, what will happen is if it sits in your pot for too long, the tin and the lead will start to separate. And what you need to do is about every 3 or 4 mold breaks is to stir up your mixture to make sure that it's evenly distributed amongst the alloy. Now linotype you don't have to worry about. Linotype won't separate like that.